Hi, good evening, everyone. So, today, in the second episode of the Ideas Worth Sharing vlog, I'm going to discuss something which I came across recently. I actually heard this on a very nice podcast. I'll share the link to the podcast in the description. Also, read the same in the book that I'm reading, which we discussed last time, Think Fast and Slow. Uh, that's the concept of decision fatigue. Okay, it's decision fatigue. So, what is decision fatigue, right? So, when I often come home from work after a hard day's work, and you often have, I am a doctor, so I see a lot of patients, and for every patient that I see, I make decisions on behalf of my patients. So, we talk to them about, which drugs to take, which investigations to ask for, whether to admit the patient, whether to send him home. Lots of decisions have to be made on behalf of the patient, and these decisions are very important because they are, often life changing, life threatening. So these are very important decisions which we tend to make, right? So when I come home, and my wife often asks me that what would you like to have for dinner, or where would you like to go for dinner outside, which restaurant you go for. And often, I'm of the thing that I don't want to take a decision. I don't want to. You just do whatever it makes, whatever you want to make, or maybe, you know we'll go out wherever you want us to go. And she often, hits back saying that, no, you tell me, where do you want to go, because she's also fatigued, in her own the entire day. She has to take a lot of decisions, and she's fatigued with taking that number of decisions. So uh, this is the concept of decision fatigue. And there's a few years back, there was an article in New York Times about, are you do you suffer from decision fatigue. And this is the sort of articles which triggered the podcast that I'm talking about. And the same thing is, a similar issue has been discussed in the book. So, think about it. So at various points of time in your life, you often feel that you don't want to take a decision. You often want to defer the decision. Because you remember, it's your system 2. We discussed in the last video about system 1 and system 2. The conscious system 2, the cognitive system 2, the slow thinking system 2 has to take the decision, right? And that the slow thinking decision 2 is, the system 2 is often very lazy, right? So it doesn't want to take a decision. And it's like, the podcast, they often compare the decision fatigue as a kind of an exercise. So for example, if you go to the gym, and those who work out know this, that if you do, let's say, 10 repetitions of a 10 kg dumbbell, your muscles are tired, right? You might be able to do maximum 2 more, maybe 5 more, right? But you're not going to do another 20, right? You're not going to do another 30. If you're doing push-ups, you'll do maximum, let's say, 20, 30, whatever, depending on your stamina, right? So your muscles get fatigued, and just like your muscles get fatigued, your mental muscles also get fatigued. And this is the problem with decision fatigue. So what are the important implications of decision fatigue, right? And I think if you're a patient, and this is something you'd like to know, as a doctor, and I often now, after hearing this, I often see in my own practice, if you are generally the last patient of the day, it's not a good news for you, to be very honest. And it's not just for me. Any doctor would tell you that, right? Because the guy is tired, the lady is tired the whole day, and they've been taking decisions the whole day. The decisions could be very minor, like which patient to see first, or which what to have for lunch. Or it could be something major, like whether to discharge the patient, whether to admit the patient, whether to put the patient on a ventilator, whether to give the patient an insulin. So these decisions are tougher. And so if you come late in the evening, if you're generally the last patient of the day, what generally happens is that the doctor often takes decisions which are the safest one, right? So if you are a diabetic, and if you probably need insulin, you're not very sure. The doctor is not very sure. If you come in the morning, he'll probably take a more strong decision on that. But if you come in the evening, he'll say, okay, fine, whatever you're taking, and continue the same, and probably will make some small adjustment to that. So wherever you go, if you go to a doctor, if if you go for something else, you go to a lawyer, an accountant, these people who use their brains, take a lot of decisions throughout the day. Go to them first thing in the morning. Be the first patient of the day, where they're fresh, they're not taking too many decisions during the day, and maybe they're in the mood to take a more tougher, more appropriate decision, right? So decision fatigue is real, okay, and just to sort of avoid it, don't so technology often creates a lot of unnecessary decision fatigue, right? So for example, Netflix, now you have so many choices of what movie to watch, or what song to listen to on your mobile phone or on your music device. You're so tired of making those small insignificant decisions that you actually are not able to take the major decisions, which are very important and critical for your either your profession or for your life. So in that sense, probably if you go to a restaurant, there are hundreds of food you have to choose from. So try to reduce taking decisions on things which don't matter much, right? It doesn't really matter what movie you watch, what television series you watch, what music you listen to. Just make a sort of playlist and probably listen to them in a shuffle. What kind of sandwich you eat, what kind of pizza you have, it really doesn't matter much, right? So stop wasting your energy on those silly, unnecessary decisions. Start spending your time on making decisions which really, really matter, right? Which are very important. Your financial decisions, your decisions for your family, for your children. These decisions are really something which make a difference, right? So I think I'll end this by saying that decision fatigue is something very important, and we as people, as a society, we need to understand that you're tired, you have a limited capacity, mental capacity to take decisions, and try taking more critical, more important decisions early in the morning when your mental faculties are less tired. So I'll end this, right? And do check out the podcast and the book recommendation. These are fantastic, right? And have a great day. Good night. Thank you.